This is a Vostok Komandirskie watch with an automatic movement that was sent to me to be repaired. The owner, Nick, told me that the problem with it was that the hour hand wasn't moving. He said that the second hand and the minute hand would move, but the hour hand was stuck in one position and wasn't moving. It wouldn't move when the watch ran, and it wouldn't move when he had the watch in time setting mode. Well, when I received it, everything was working right. You can see here that the hour hand and the minute hand are both moving. But you can see that the hands are out of sync with each other. When the minute hand is at the 12, the hour hand should point directly at one of the numbers, where here you can see it's actually pointing slightly above the 9 instead of directly at it. And the same pattern holds true when we go to the next hour. It should be pointing at the 10, and it's actually pointing a little bit higher. So that needs to be corrected. Oh, there we go, it just stopped. Okay, that's interesting. So I'm going to have to take this apart and see why it's doing that. Now, something I discovered earlier when I was playing around with this arrived earlier this afternoon, and when I first took it out of the package, the second hand, even after I wound it up, the second hand wouldn't move unless I was actively winding the watch. So when I had it in winding position, while I was turning the knob to wind it, the second hand would move and the watch would run, but when I stopped winding it, the second hand would stop. And I suspected that maybe he had a bad mainspring that was causing that, but now it's working perfectly. So I don't know what the cause of that was. It could be the weather outside is very cold right now here in Indiana. I bet the lubricants in it were all basically too cold and were thickened up, and it was causing it to basically not have enough amplitude to run the movement, except when I turn this winding knob, because when you're doing that, it puts more pressure on the mainspring and increases the amplitude slightly during the time when you're winding. And now that the watch has warmed up, the lubricants have probably softened up and everything's working again. So this watch needs to have a full service done to it in order to clean out all those old lubricants and put in new lubricants that are going to last longer. And I need to figure out why the hands aren't working right too. Well, I feel some resistance there. I wonder if we've got a broken tooth on one of the wheels, or a tooth that's damaged that's causing that. We'll see once we take it apart. I'm going to have to take the movement out of the case, and I'm going to have to take the dial and the hands off in order to get to that mechanism, because the wheels that turn the hands are on the dial side of the movement directly under the dial. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll see if we can figure out what the cause of this problem is. If it does have a broken tooth on the hour wheel or the minute wheel, either of those could cause this to happen. I have some new replacement parts that I can put into it and make it work again. So let's go ahead and start taking it apart. We need to get the back off first. And this is an interesting one too, because he told me that he thought this was made in 1989. And I don't think it's really that old, because the back of it says made in Russia. And one made in 1989 wouldn't have said made in Russia. It would have said made in the Soviet Union or made in the USSR, because that was still during Soviet times. The Soviet Union didn't break up until 1991. And this one's interesting too, because the text on the back is in English. It says made in Russia, but the word Vostok, the brand name, is actually written in Russian, because the letter there looks like a letter B in English. That's the letter V in Russian, and the S, or the letter, what looks like a letter C in English, is the letter S in Russian. So that's pronounced Vostok. So they've written their brand name in Russian, but the rest of it is in English, made in Russia. And then down here it says waterproof, automatic. And I've never seen a Vostok watch that had the text on the back in English before. All of them that I have in my own collection have everything written in Russian. Something else that's interesting on this one too is that if you look at the dial, there's nothing written on the bottom of the dial that says where it's made, where the ones that were made during Soviet times had made in USSR written in Russian at the bottom of the dial. And the ones Vostok is making now say made in Russia. And this one doesn't have anything on it. Well, the ones that were made in the early 1990s and the mid 1990s didn't have an indication on the dial of where they were made. They had nothing written on them, just like this one. So I think this is from the early 90s. But it is interesting that it has the English text on the back, because I've never seen that before. So anyway, let's go ahead and take the back off of this. Set it on a casing cushion here so we don't damage the crystal. Vostok watches have an unusual back arrangement. Instead of the whole back turning to unscrew, there's a retaining ring that you unscrew, and then the back just lifts off. So we're going to use a spanner wrench here. I'll hold this up so you can see what I'm doing. I'm basically just unscrewing that retaining ring enough that I can turn it by hand then. There we go. And then the back should lift off, and it's kind of stuck down by dried lubricants, I think. I'm going to use a little screwdriver to help it up. There we go. And there's our movement. And yeah, we can tell this was made during post-Soviet times because if you look at the movement, see if we can bring this up close here, you can see that it says on the bridge right here that holds the automatic parts. This is the automatic winding rotor, and then this bridge here holds some of the gears for the automatic movement for the automatic mechanism. It says RUS right there, which means Russia. The ones that were made during Soviet times said SU for Soviet Union. And this is a 2416B movement, which is their standard automatic movement. Now, to get the movement out of the case, we need to first take the back gasket off. And then we need to get the stem out. The next thing I need to do is remove the rotor. And the reason I need to get that off is that there's a movement spacer ring here that has to come off in order to get the dial off. And that won't come off when the rotor's in place. So we're going to have to remove the rotor. There we go. Okay, next we need to remove the stem, and first we need to unscrew the crown, then pull it out to the time setting position. And then there's a button we need to push in here, which is right back here, and that's the stem release button. So we need to push that down with a small screwdriver. And while we're pushing it down, we should be able to pull the stem out, just like that. Now all this should drop out, and I'm going to put a casing cushion over the back, flip the watch over, lift off the case, and there's our movement. I need to get that dial or that movement spacer off. Now here's one problem. A little piece just fell out of the side of the movement, and this, I believe, is one of the springs that's part of the calendar mechanism, so I may need to replace that as well. That's a part that sometimes breaks off on these watches because it's kind of a delicate little spring, and we'll see that once we take the dial off. That's where the calendar mechanism is, and I can see what exactly that is, but I believe that that's part of this, one of the springs for the calendar mechanism. Okay, this has got two screws that are holding the movement spacer on, which is kind of unusual. I don't think that the newer ones use those screws for that, but this one has a metal movement spacer, and the newer ones use a plastic one. So I'm going to have to carefully hold this in my hand to remove those screws because I don't want to set the dial face down with the hand still on it. Here's one of the screws. Now that we have that off, we can put this into a movement holder and I can remove the hands. To pull the hands, I'm going to use a pair of hand levers, and I've got a piece of plastic laid over it which serves to protect the dial and the hands from getting scratched. And we just work these underneath the two hands. And then we pry upwards carefully so we don't break the post that the hands ride on. They're starting to move now. There we go. Okay, now we need to get the dial off, and the dial is held in place by two dial screws. And you can see one of them right there in the edge of the movement. And then there should be one more on the other side of the movement, right there. So when we remove those, then the dial should lift right off. Alright, I've got the dial screws out, so let's see if we can lift the dial off. There it goes. There's the dial side of the movement. Here's the back of the dial. You can see the two dial feet that go down into the movement to hold it in place. The parts we need to look at are under this metal plate, and this metal plate covers up the motion works, which is the parts that make the hands move, and it also covers up the calendar works, which is the part that makes the date system work. So we need to take that off, and it's held in place by a couple of screws. Looks like there's 3 screws that hold it in place, so we'll go ahead and remove those. I've removed the plate, and now we can take off this spring here. Is held in place by that plate, and so it's just kind of laying there since we've taken the plate off. It goes into that opening right there in the plate. Now we can also lift off this little lever right here. That's the detent lever for the calendar works. It keeps the date from shifting in between the times when it's supposed to move. And then here's the date wheel, and right there, see that little metal spring right there? It should go all the way over to here, so that's been broken off, and that's what that piece is that we found earlier when we took the watch out, when we took the movement out of the case. So that is going to have to be replaced. Now let's look at our motion works and see if we can figure out why the hour hand wasn't moving. So I'm going to take off the dial washer here first. I'm going to take the hour wheel off. because I want to look at underneath it and see what the cannon pinion looks like, see if it's pushed down all the way. I found the cause of the hand problem, and I should have seen that right away, but I pulled the hour wheel off and just set it aside without looking at it because I wanted to look at the cannon pinion, which is this part right here. The cannon pinion is what carries the minute hand, and when it turns, the gear at the bottom of the cannon pinion turns this wheel right here, which is called the minute wheel, and then the minute wheel turns the hour wheel, and the hour wheel is what holds the hour hand. So I wanted to make sure that the cannon pinion was pushed down all the way, and that everything was turning here okay, and it was working right. The cannon pinion was slightly pulled up a little bit higher than it should have been, but I think that may have been from me pulling the hands that can pop the cannon pinion up. So I don't think that was the cause of the issue. Everything seemed to be working good, so then I grabbed the hour wheel, and the problem was really obvious when I looked at it. When I pulled it off the movement a couple minutes ago, I didn't look at it through a magnifier, so I didn't see the issue. But when I looked at it just now, I had an eye loop that I looked at it through, and I could see that it has a couple of broken teeth. And let's see if we could show that here. There we go. Now you can see the broken teeth. Yeah, see that how there's several teeth broken off there? That's the cause of our problem. That's why the hour hand wouldn't turn correctly. So that's an easy fix. I have another part that I can put on that will work on this, and that should solve the problem with the hands. But I think we do need to go ahead and do a full service on the watch, because I think that the lubricants are dried up enough and old enough that the cold temperatures earlier affected how the watch was running. And that shouldn't be an issue. You should be able to take this watch out in cold weather, and it should continue to run normally. And the way it is now, you wouldn't be able to. It's running fine right now where I've got it. It's been in the house and warmed up for several hours, so it's running well. But when I brought it in from the mailbox when it was cold outside, it wasn't running right. And so replacing the lubricants and cleaning out all the old stuff and putting new lubricants in should solve that issue. So we're going to go ahead and do a full service on it. So I'm going to go ahead and tear the rest of the watch down and clean all the parts and put it back together. And I'm going to replace the broken hour wheel, and I'm also going to replace this spring right here, which is part of the date mechanism, because that's going to need to be replaced too, or else the date mechanism won't function correctly. And as we tear it apart, we'll look at all the other parts and make sure that there's nothing else that's broken or damaged. When these teeth broke off the hour wheel, it's possible they fell into other parts of the mechanism and could have caused damage, so we need to make sure that that's not an issue. So the next video I make will be showing the rest of the disassembly process after the watch winds itself down. It's gonna have to run for a day or so. So we'll go ahead and end this one here, and the next video will show the rest of the disassembly process. And then after that, we'll clean the parts and reassemble it and relubricate everything. And I'm also going to replace the mainspring, because this watch is probably close to 30 years old, and the mainspring should be replaced on one that's that old. I have a new Vostok mainspring barrel. I've got a barrel complete with the mainspring already installed in the barrel, brand new one that I can put in here. So we will do that next.